Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to another video. Today is Chris's inked pens. This is a little bit of a sporadic series because of just whatever's happening around here, and at the end of the video I'll explain the schedule going forward. This will be the last one of these you'll see till October because of our 30 inks 30 days in September, but anyway, we'll go over that at the end. So here are the pens. The first one is the Lamy Safari, and it is the dark lilac, and I've got a broad nib on here, a broad Lamy fine nib. So after I show you the pens, we'll get in the notebook and write with each one. And then this is the TWSBI Go in the smoke, and it's got a 1.1 millimeter stub on it. Okay. Next, we've got two of my favorite pens, actually. These are the Kaweco Perkeo. This is the all black with the medium nib. And then right next to it, oh, I can't remember, I think this is cambray, but I'm not sure the color. I'll have to look that up for you. Anyway, it's blue, and it's got a medium nib as well, but it's not got blue ink in it. Anyway, we'll see that in a minute. And next is a really special little vintage pen. It's actually the only vintage pen I own except for the family heirloom Schaefer that I have. And this is a Waterman 52 with a little number 2 Waterman nib on it. Let's see if we can see that. It's got a little flex, and so it makes it a very, very unique pen in my collection. And I wanted to see that Monarch ink in it, so I spilled the guts there. That's the ink that is in there. Okay, and then next is my Pilot Vanishing Point in the gunmetal iridium, and this is the most expensive, most I've ever spent on a pen. Actually came close to giving up on this one, but I know how it works in this hobby. I haven't been in it that long, so you know, this is 3 years, and I know that what looks one way can change depending on if we find the right ink for a pen or if our tastes change. So I haven't wanted to give up on it yet, because you know, you can never recover what you pay retail. And as long, I mean, it's a very comfortable pen for me, but we'll get into more about that when I show you how it writes and everything. Okay, and then next is a beautiful little Jinhao 301, and it was sent by my pen friend that lives all the way over in Poland. And it's just a gorgeous little pen with a hooded nib, and I think it's extra fine. So here's that, and I've been toying around with a review on it, but I just need to get familiar enough with it. I just need to really know what something about what I'm saying before I do that. So then here is my Lamy Next, which I consider one of my most comfortable pens. It's got a really nice grip, and I do have a Lamy 1.1 stub on it right now. So let's push this aside, and we'll take them one by one, and we're going to get into the it's actually the Bond Travel Gear hardcover A5 notebook that is 68 GSM Chamoy River paper. And then we're going, when I get done with this part, we'll write with these pens. I'm going to show you the report on how the last episode went, or how the last 8 pens that I showed you, how I kind of ranked them. So, okay, so this is going to be for today's August, what is today? The 22nd. So this is August 22nd through the 31st, because I need to start writing all my pens dry for 30 inks 30 days, which is it's not my normal mode, believe me, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, so I'll do a little square because I'd like to you know, get a little swatch down there of the ink. So this is a Lamy Safari with a broad nib, and because this is yeah, dark lilac, I always mix it up with that Sitz Kruznock dark orchid, but it is the dark lilac. There's an ink by that name. Okay, and this is Noodler's Purple Mountain Majesties. First introduced to this by my pen friend Leah, who sent me a sample. And I went crazy for it. And it is brighter. It's quite a bit brighter than the purples that we wrote with last week, and we'll flip back to that. But it's just really pretty and it probably needs to dry. So let me get the next pen out. Okay, the next one is the TWSBI Go with the 1.1 stub. Okay, let's see. Oh, working with bifocals is always fun. And here we go. What do I have in there? Oh yeah, blue denim. Okay, I thought okay. So TWSBI Go. I'm going to use that up before I do a review. I thought I'd talked myself out of that, but no, not apparently. 1.1 stub with Robert Oster. Remember, they sent me a sample with that little Serendipity Mini, and I was all excited I'd have enough to do a review, and here I am inking it up in a stub. So, I need my head examined. But there it is. Let's see. Yeah, that's a really pretty ink, and I've been practicing for a week, 2 weeks with stub nibs because I'm not really very good writing with them, and I need to get my angle down just right, but practice is the only thing that'll help that. So here we go. One of my favorite inks, and a pen that always makes me happy, the Kaweco Perkeo medium nib with Diamine, you know what it is, Earl Grey. I find myself really wanting to write with that in my bullet journals and my other journals, and I started a new financial traveler's notebook a couple days ago. Okay, and then here is the second one. This is the reason why there's green in here is that financial traveler's notebook. So here it is, Kaweco Perkeo. Same pen, different color, finish, same nib. And this is Tasha Midori. I like that green. That is definitely a nice bright green, pretty. Having trouble seeing it the way I should see it. It's darkening it, of course. Okay, now for the little vintage pen. This was given to me by a benefactor, a very generous pen friend. And like I said, it's got a really neat nib on it. I mean, I feel almost like I'm not worthy of the pen because like it's just really neat, you know. It has flex in it. I don't want to hurt it in any way. I think I get that way. I get a little nervous, but I was practicing with my cursive S's earlier with it, and it was really cool. So, Waterman. I'm not very good with a flex nib yet, but 52. There may be more to that name. I pulled his letter out though, but let me see. Well, a Waterman's should have an S. 52, small size, great nib. Representative of the wonderful number 2 nibs in the 1920s. So, oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm getting ridiculous here. Small. I don't know anything about vintage pens. That's why I'm acting nervous. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that this is KWZ. KWZ. Monarch. Boy, it just doesn't take hardly anything, and you get flex, but I have a lot of practice to do. Earlier, I was having really good luck doing like an S, where I go upstroke and then purposely, you know, give it more, because my last name begins with an S, and I was getting there, and I thought, well, it's practice, that's all. That's all I need to do. So I'm really happy to have this inked up again. I really wanted to see that Monarch in a nib that would do that. I don't have really any other that'll do that. So, okay, and here's the Pilot Vanishing Point. And this has also got green ink, but it's much darker. So this is Pilot Vanishing Point. I have a medium nib on it. Whoops, that's a weird M. And I have Monteverde. It's probably coming across really dark. Yes, it is, but it is dark green, but it's not quite that dark. Olivine. Let's see if I can get it to... Yeah, it's coming across really dark because of the way the lighting is today. I like how it writes with this ink though. And I never have really disliked the pen. It's comfortable for me to write with. It's a gorgeous pen. It's one of the most beautiful, other than the Jim Hines Blue Storm. It's probably the one of the very prettiest pens I have, and I don't mind the grip at all. It's just that I felt like it didn't write enough better to make it worth that much, but I paid the money, so for a while there I was acting squirrely about it. Okay, and this is the Genhao 301, and I'm not used to extra fine nibs, but this one will write in almost any line, so it really gives you an advantage in that manner. Okay, so it's to make sure I'm facing it the right way. Genhao 301 with an extra fine hooded nib, and it's got roller and clinger. Roller and clinger. I was going to say cassia, but no, it's sulfurino. Sulfurino, okay, which is kind of a bright color, and yeah, you're getting at least some of that. It's like a purple or a magenta, but it's really bright. Okay, one more is the Lamy Next with the stub. Put that on there. Nice, cheerful color. Lamy Next 1.1 stub, and it's got a Lamy violet cartridge. I need to use these up. I've had them for a while. Cartridge, okay. Ooh, that's nice and bright. Ooh, there, the light changed or something, and all of a sudden I'm seeing the colors more the way they should look. Okay, so that's this week's, or that's for through August, because in September, you know what I'm going to be doing. So what I want to do is get at my little blotter paper, and then I want to go back to the last time that we did this, which was August 12, I think. I don't know. Anyway, here's the report card on these inks. So we were talking about the TWSBI Go with the broad nib and Noodler's Navajo Turquoise. I gave it an A, and I said very pretty color and very nice in that pen. And then TWSBI Go broad nib, another one. They were different. They're the different colored, but J. Arbonne Kianit du Nepal. And I don't know why I marked it down. Oh, I said A-, beautiful, excellent shading, low shimmer. Well, that could be the ink or that could be the pen. I've got more to try to learn on that. You know, more experimenting, because we can't judge an ink or a pen on one combination for sure. And then my TWSBI Eco Medium Robert Oster Lake of Fire, an old favorite. I gave it a B, and I put, I'm so used to broad nibs now. Still excellent in the pen, ink pen nib, but prefer broad nib. Well, that's not the pen or the ink's fault. Okay, and then next was the Genhao X450 with a medium goulet nib with Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black. A+. Oh boy, that's a cheap pen to get such a grade. Constant daily writer, flow, reliability, can't say enough good about the combo. It's true, I actually still have that inked up, and I have it with my traveler's notebook where I log my food every day, and I'm thinking about making this kind of permanent. I don't know. I'm dedicating that color to that pen for now anyway. Okay, next was the Genhao X750 with a medium goulet nib with Noodler's Purple Heart. Okay, I gave it a C. Can't get excited about this color. Also feels dry on many papers. Is, however, reliable. Okay, it just didn't feel the way everything usually feels in that nib. I don't know why. That's interesting. I'll have to think about that some more. Okay, next, the one my mother really liked in her letters this week, the Genhao 159 1.1 stub. It was a Goulet stub with Noodler's Rome Burning. Just blew me away. A+ all the way. I wrote several pen pal letters with this. I wrote flow, color, reliability, ready for clean out. Okay, it ran out as I was doing the report card. See there, it said the last 2 letters, and then that was it. Uh-oh, I bet I smeared that other because I just lost my blotter page. Okay, so then here we are. Next was Wankai Moonman Mini with a broad nib. Goulet number 5, yeah. Robert Oster Tranquility. B+, very nice. Ink, nib, pen combo. Getting bored with the same ink. Okay, well that's what happens if you put a whole 3mm in a pen and you write with it forever and ever. You do get bored with it. It's not the pen or the ink's fault. But I wrote, a joy to write with, though. Okay. Geez, I'm glad I'm nobody's teacher. Not really fair. Okay, so next is Kaweco Ice Sport, the blue one in the medium. That's the only Kaweco Ice Sport I have. Noodler's Navajo Turquoise. I gave it an A, and I said, always very reliable and fun to write with. I take this pen and ink for granted. Eyedropper fill is lasting pretty good. Clean soon. Yeah, that's something with that one that I end up realizing, yeah, it needs to be cleaned sometimes before the eyedropper fill runs out. You know, you feel like, well, you got to give it the best advantage so it continues to flow really good. I wrote Jinhao 159 is written dry. Yes, okay, that's the one with Rome Burning. Reserve the converter for Rome Burning ink. Okay, that didn't turn out to be true. The converter cleaned out of that Noodler's Rome Burning with no staining. So my whole problem that I had with the Lamy, because if you'll remember, I used it in a Lamy Vista and it stained the converter, it stained the section. It didn't happen in this cheap pen, so I don't know why. But anyway, it didn't. Okay, pull a clean one for next fill. That was all bogus. Okay, clean out the Jinhao X750 purple broad. Okay, that's the problem right there. That was a broad nib. That wasn't a medium nib. I knew something was bothering me about that, like something was wrong. Okay, so that's why, that was another reason why I felt like, well, why is that writing dry? It's a broad nib. It's usually a wet writer. So, okay. All right, you know I have to learn from myself. I write these things down and then I forget them. I do not like that ink. Okay, all right, so that was only a sample. Nobody needs to panic. Okay, and then I wrote to myself, try Purple Mountain Majesties. Yeah, and I did, and you saw that. Favorite of my weekly inked pens was the Jinhao 159 with Rome Burning. It was, and my mother, who has trouble with color, and hardly ever really mentions too much about the ink, as long as she can read it. As long as I don't pull a stunt where I'm writing with something too light, and then she says, oh dear, I had trouble reading it. But she was like, oh, that was so beautiful. And I thought, wow, even Mom noticed. So who knows what is going to go over here about these combinations, but that's where I feel like I start to learn, you know, what's working. And what I might try next, and that's what's really fun about the hobby. So, okay, now I want to talk about what's next because there's a lot going on here. Even though I did kind of, I haven't had as many uploads in the last few days. You probably have noticed, and maybe you had a chance to catch up, but it kind of hurt my shoulder, and then I had a lot of organizing to do just to be able to cope with my work area here. So what's next for the immediate landscape here is J. Arbonne Emerald of Chivor is the next ink profile. It's a hard one to show to the camera and get an accurate picture of, but you know how that works. So we're here. So as we go, we've got that list that I'm working off of, and we won't go too far on that because I'm not sure, you know, how far we'll get before the month ends. At the rate I'm going, it won't, you know, it'll still be there waiting for the rest of them to be finished. So I'll be, you know, writing my pens dry, I've got lots of pen pal letters to write. And then September will come, and it's 30 inks, 30 days. At least it is for me. I may be off beating the drum by myself. I don't know. Because, you know, last year, Ink Journal did have a big 30 inks, 30 days. This may be a small one because it may be that I just picked up on it and I wanted to commemorate the year because it's been a year since I started doing ink reviews or ink profiles. And then there'll be a Dallas Pen Show And one of these days I'll get my money straightened out and be able to go to one. And then I'll be back in October with another Chris's Inked Pens, but not until then, because in September I'm going to be working with my review pens, which are all cleaned out now. Now I'm not sure, with only 2 mils of some of these inks, whether I'll get past these two. So I don't know whether the stub is going to be, you know, I mean, I can use the ink syringe, but I still have to be able to dip this guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we've all been there before, where it was Serendipity with the broad nib and the Lamy Vista with the fine nib, and we get to see quite a bit, and we get to see comparisons. So if we don't get further than that, because of those first several inks, I only have 2 mils, then we may have to put the broad 1.5 millimeter stub on hold just until we get back into the inks that I have more of. So, and I heard the mail come, and I know that I've got an exciting package today from Goulet Pens. They were sending ink for us for the channel for me to use and review if I want to. And so I'll be bringing you a separate, you know, introduction on what those are, even though we're booked, aren't we? Because I did this, I kind of copied out of my notebook, so we know that we'll be starting in September with those Sailor inks, and then we'll be going down to the Straits Pen Honest inks. These are all from Ink Flight that I need to catch up on, and then Colorverse, and then the 8 that I chose, which I don't know. I hate to change it now that I've told you guys, because people may have actually tried to line up theirs so they can do the same ones. So I probably won't change it. So October is going to be a really fun time, because we'll have those inks from Goulet Pens. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is helping me to rotate my pens more, and to, I mean, I always want to see all the inks and all the different pens, but it's helping me to focus. And I hope it helps inspire you too, you know, think of some of these combinations. Oh, this got long. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.